So we're now some 6 weeks out from the Supreme Court ruling on abortion, and this EO seems to be directing Health and Human Services Department to consider a number of actions. So where's the urgency right now for women who need help, and when will the help actually kick in? What is the timeline?
So when the president normally does an executive order, it's always to consider. That's always the wording and the language that's in an EO. So that is nothing new. You'll see that in any executive order that he signs. So it is in line with that. Look, I mean, just to it's really important what this is going to do. It's going to help, in particular, low-income women, right? If you think about it, it paves the way for Medicaid to pay for abortions for women having to travel out of state. Secretary Becerra will invite states to apply for Medicaid waivers to allow them to provide reproductive health care to women who live in states where abortions are banned. Those he judged to be the strongest and most effective on both legal and policy grounds. That's what the president is doing. He's reviewing the options that he has, and also the thing to note here, and we have said this is in consultation with groups. This is in consultation with legal experts when we make these announcements, and the president has been very clear. He is going to continue to do whatever he can to make sure that a woman's rights to choose continues to be protected the best way that he can from the federal government. But again, the way we do this, the way to make sure that it is federal law is Congress needs to act, and Americans need to make sure that their voices are heard.
What is the timeline, specific timeline on this EO for women who want to have an abortion soon? Will this help them get one? Are we talking about days? Are we talking about weeks? Are we talking about 6 months?
So that's a great question. We don't have the details to share today, but HHS will soon have more on what a waiver could look like in the timeline, as you're asking me, and which would generally target, again, low-income women served by Medicaid and help cover certain costs. So HHS, as you know, the president's going to sign the executive order. It says to consider. Secretary Becerra will then work with his team to figure out the details and the timeline.
And one more question on this. How will you be able to pay to help women pay to cross a state line to get somewhere else where they need to go, given the restrictions of the Hyde Amendment?
So that is something that HHS will come up with the details on that.
But you're about to sign an EO. Have they not figured that out?
Well, we're going to leave it to HHS to come up with the details on the specifics on how they're going to work with states if a state asks for a waiver and what that's going to look like. So this is going to be in their purview. They're going to come up with the specifics, again, with the details on how this is going to work. But again, this is what the president is doing. He's looking at everything that's available to him on the table, whatever is legally possible, what he can use his executive authority to move forward on, and that's what he's doing.